Been a hot minute here, but last video update was about Ethereum going to $2,600. We have now hit that target. We've got an ETF approval for Bitcoin. Thank God. I'm tired of hearing the word ETF, but I'm sure it's not over yet. And what does this mean for the rest of the crypto market? Well, we are going to take a quick look. All right, I'm testing out a little temporary setup here, so hopefully you can hear me. Twin, what's going on, my friend? Always first in everything we do. Appreciate you. Just doing a little mic check, making sure you can hear. Gonna keep on going here. All right, so yeah, so crazy couple of days here. First off, I just want to thank my sponsor here. Just started with these guys here at iTrust. Offer a pretty significant product here, and I think that it's something that in the crypto space is pretty big, and not not a thing I've partnered with in the past so far. So this is actually the first one. Did a lot of due diligence behind them. They're definitely a trustworthy company in the space, and definitely worth giving a check if you're interested. So you can literally buy and sell crypto, gold, silver with your IRA. They have all kinds of different instruments and services for you. So be sure to check that out. There's a link in my bio. Otherwise, let's just jump right into this. So Bitcoin price action, we ran up pretty much right to 48K, depending on what exchange you're looking at. I did just want to kind of highlight a little bit of the short-term trade that was available to us yesterday. So I'll go ahead and cut the price action a little bit before I start updating everything. Obviously, we had the push up, immediate drop down, right? Getting everybody getting into those late longs right there, just flushed out. And then what we had here was, a nice little small range for the day, as everybody just patiently anticipated this news, I suppose. But a very technical trade setup, nonetheless. So we had our previous day range here, right? So we'll go and pull that up right there. I'll go ahead and highlight this for you so you can see it. Okay, we had a horizontal daily level of resistance here. This has now been tapped, but we'll cover that in a second. This daily open is actually today, so disregard that for now. And this this new daily level doesn't exist yet, right? As of yesterday, this is a new one. Anyhow, so we had a really nice little move here. We basically came down, took yesterday's low, right? So when you see that, essentially you got a nice little run back up at least to your previous day val. VWAP is obviously our first TP on the way up. We actually had a daily naked point of control right there. And then if you were to pull a local gold pocket from this region, also lined up really nicely. So a really nice target to the upside, daily level, secondary area up in this region, but definitely TP1, TP2 at the daily val. And then if you could have held it into this region, it would have been a nice little 5% move, over 5%. So offered a short right after, and then basically we were in a new place now. So let's take a look at how price action has evolved. Right, so we're going to go ahead and take this daily off because now we've met that, right? So we just kind of came up and pierced through this region. We've got a new previous day range. Take a look at. Actually, there's a Dalton in play I just put into the group. Previous day high literally was just put in right before the close. So we just opened the day right here. Day open right there. So Dalton in play, right? If we re-enter this range, got a pretty big chance of running to at least a point of control. At the moment, it's naked anyhow, so that's our volume target, as it would be anyhow, getting back into that range, and the potential to rotate the range in full, right? So daily level in between. Let's just see a gold pocket, how it lines up just below that region. So intraday moves here, if we don't hold that daily open, start losing VWAP, and definitely if we get back in the range under about 46,500. Higher time frame stuff on Bitcoin, we've came in really close to that macro gold pocket that everyone has been eyeing forever, right? And one of two things that would be interesting to see is if we actually came up and front ran it like we have done so far, at least. Trapping in, which it'd be hard to believe, right? Like 50K, I know is like a lot of people's targets. anything past that, just at this point, I don't know why you wouldn't be looking for a pullback in general, but everyone, and I guess I don't mean everyone, but I've seen a lot of people like frantically trying to get long at 40K, 45K, which obviously would have boded well if you were TPing at these regions. Um, but they're not planning on taking profit here, right? Like they're looking for like 100K from there, right? So just note that we've ran up, over 200% in the last year, and now everybody's frantically trying to get long. So that's just something to keep in mind as we're coming into some really big key levels. You get this new ETF news, which just to me personally reminds me of the CME futures back in 2017, which basically had the same situation. We had a huge impulse move. I think it was actually the top of the market at the time, and everybody was really excited, including myself, thinking that CME was going to get unleashed and billions and trillions of dollars were going to flood the market. It's quite the opposite. Personally, I don't think that the news really has anything to do with it. I know that that's a hard pill to swallow, but this is definitely a very technical move here, right? So you get a drawdown and you get a retracement generally into your gold pocket, right? So it's been a really nice, slow move into it. Will we front run it is a question. There's an untapped quarterly pivot from this region right here, just above like 52K. So that's if we do come up to this region, I would imagine we blow through it. And that was kind of what I was getting to earlier, is that we either front run this gold pocket or we blow through it a bit. And this would be enough if everybody's going to try to blindly short 50K. You're talking about, a good 5% move up into that region. Liquidates everybody 20X and over, which sadly is pretty much the entire market all the time. But yeah, so I'm looking for a pullback. Honestly, whether it's now or up into this 52K, as far as Bitcoin would go, right? We got a lot of things we left below us, including our new yearly pivot here. So that's our high time frame average, but we've got a ton of naked points of control on the way down. We've got daily levels. We've got a new gold pocket that basically comes all the way back down to this region. There's just a bunch of things that would line up for a pullback. So regardless, altcoins on the other hand, Ethereum has really lagged in this whole entire last year, right? So in the same time frame, we've seen Bitcoin push up 200%. We only have seen ETH rally. I think, well, I'm going to go from just last year, so not the ultimate low there. I think it's only been okay. Now it's up to 120, but previous to like today, it's been right at 100, which is a great move. Obviously, nothing compared to like Solana's and the INJs of the world, and definitely underperforming even Bitcoin. For me, there was only two more targets that I'm really interested in. One was actually just met today. Obviously, it was our $2,600 target here. We did a really good amount of dancing around at this region, right? So my big area to get that next long was these two boxes. Front ran them a bit, so definitely right here was the ideal situation if he could have got it. And what this was our last quarter, right? We closed it so Q4 last year. Naked point of control, boom, right back down, back tested the naked point of control, ran it up, right? Front ran all these targets here, but in general, had to be aware of that, took all these lows, and I'm pretty sure that was also the December low as well for, it sure was. So that was our December low too for Ethereum. Didn't look the same on Bitcoin's chart, but that was a very, that was a good area to get in, obviously, and it was a quick wick if you missed it there. So after that, it was just a stair step since then. Got our week open, right? Back tested here. This was yesterday's daily open there, and then we were looking at the previous week high, which gave us a little bit of resistance a little bit earlier, and then we had the 2023 high, which slowly got taken yesterday. Right, you can zoom in and kind of see how that occurred. And then from there, we're into the gold pocket target. So next move, in my opinion, potentially we get a little pullback, but overall, I think that it's just, the next shot up here. It's a weird situation because I feel like this is a time when Bitcoin might just stay stagnant, potentially it goes up to that 52. But the difference here is it's pretty massive in Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So you're talking like a 35% impulse potential. Maybe Bitcoin pulls up too. But that would almost catch the two of them up, right? So that would put ETH at 200%, from that last year's low to that high. It's just been lagging pretty well behind. Been tracking this historic range over here. which doesn't really hold too much credence, but it did offer up a huge area where we're just hitting our head on. So it was an area I was looking to get in and claim before the 2023 high. It's pretty much at 2380, and that was what kind of gave us that next leg up there. So yeah, I'm looking for the gold pocket, and that's the macro. So from the overall high to that overall low takes us into that general region right there, and we'll see how things look. I would imagine we get a pretty sizable pullback from that level if reached. And then I just want to take a quick look at the ETH and BTC chart. So similar to anything else in the market, right? We're looking for sweeps of the highs and the lows, right? Everybody like to call it the liquidity grabs. But essentially on this chart, you've now taken the last 2 years. If you go out to the 12-month chart here, and this is 2022 and 2023. So you've taken both the lows there, and generally, right, what you get is you get a nice little move to the upside, right? So even though this chart doesn't necessarily get traded, I guess you do. You can trade ETH versus BTC, I suppose. That's how we had to trade everything back in the day. 6-month level here was a big one to get reclaimed. We're living above it at the moment. 2 boxes I'm looking for is up to about 6 and to 7. We got some 8, and then the 22 high up in this area here. So if we're going to get a move like this out of the ETH versus BTC chart, you can imagine that at least Ethereum is going to be performing, but the altcoins are going to probably go with it. So, yeah, so we got some upside potential. So maybe we don't clear all these levels, but I would imagine we come into this box area here, which is from the last couple of moves here. That's about a 15% move, and then I think that's about give or take the same again. It's about 16% into that region. All right. Just doing a little test run here. Yeah, what's good? BG. Got a little temporary setup. I just want to make sure everything worked. I'm assuming it does. Nobody said that they couldn't hear. Awesome. Yeah, we're actually going to do a members update in the group here in about 30 minutes where myself, Magic Internet Money, Max, we're going to go over everything a lot more in depth. 2 of those guys crush it on Bitcoin. We're going to go over some more altcoins, a little bit more of the Ethereum move and how we got there. So if you're interested, be sure to check out our website. Link is in the description below as well. And then if you are interested in any new exchanges, ever since the KYC fiasco, I guess you could call it, or tightening, Bybit used to be pretty much our home. Personally, I've tried almost, I think at this point, every single exchange. I know everybody's kind of constantly moving to a new one because once you get onto one, it seems like everybody's kind of just clamping down on KYC. So at the moment, I'm utilizing 2. BingX is actually one I've been using since Bybit, and I've had no issues with them at all. I find them to be a pretty reliable exchange. You can trade both crypto and stocks, which I think is pretty neat. There's no KYC, there's no VPN. The only time you'll need a VPN is if you want to trade the stocks, and it's obviously not stocks. It's I believe it's just tokenized stocks, but you can trade against it. So with Tether, and then a new one has come on. It's definitely something that I'm still kind of tinkering around with, but so far seems pretty good. And it's Blofin, right? So at this point, it's hard to kind of keep on to one exchange. So if you're interested in any of those, there's a couple of links down below, some deposit bonuses, stuff like that. So otherwise, if you're in the group, we'll see you then. And I'll try to get some nice, fresh updates for you guys coming here soon, as I feel like we'll have some pretty big moves here out of the altcoins in the next couple of weeks, and then potentially Bitcoin here soon. So thanks for watching, everybody. Sure to have a great rest of your evening. What do I think about XRP? I think XRP is going to be the last lady to dance for this rally. So XRP has respected this range like mofo for quite a while. We were looking for 69 cents. We were looking for that weekly level up here, and I'm just kind of backdating this, I guess, a little bit, right? You had this high to this low, this gold pocket. You had some random news that occurred right at that moment too, right? But all this was a nice come up. It took the high right into a nice target here. Other gold pocket, basically a retrace to the downside. consolidated. We had a monthly NPOC that has now been met to here. So at the moment, I mean, it's just really range bound, but I imagine if we were going to get that move out of ETH, I think that we'll see this move out of XRP too. So we just got to be, looking at for that 69 cents to break, but I'm still targeting this dollar. And then I like I said, I imagine that if that's like a huge move, by the way. So if XRP is pushing up like that, um, I joke about it, but it's so far the last couple of times it's been the last thing to pump before the rally's over. So just something to chew on there. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed this little brief update. Like I said, I'll be sure to keep them coming. Might hop on TikTok soon as well. And other than that, I'll see you all in the next video.
This fucking door. Close the door.